Hi, everyone. Welcome to Central Washington's Teach STEM info session. It is currently March of 2021, and I'm recording this session so that folks who are not able to attend an informational session are able to get the information about our program. So welcome, everyone. My name is Darren Knapp. I am the Associate Director for the Teach STEM program on the West Side. We are located outside of at the Des Moines campus, which is co-located with Highline College, and I'll talk a little bit more about that in just a second. So did you know that teachers in the US rate their lives better than all other occupation groups, trailing only physicians? Did you know that most teaching jobs have better retirement benefits than other jobs you can get with the same degree? And did you know that the starting salary in Seattle School District is $60,000 and with a master's degree it is $75,000? These are just some of our did you knows about the teaching profession because we are trying to recruit you to become a teacher and join our program through the Teach STEM program. So it's helpful to put out some facts about the benefits of becoming a teacher. So I'm going to start with our location. The CW Des Moines campus is co-located on Highline College's campus, which is, as you can see, just a little bit east of Kent and south of SeaTac, which is right by the airport. And we're located in Des Moines, Washington. So Central Washington, the main campus is in Ellensburg, but we have a campus that is on the west side at the Des Moines campus. A little bit about our program. The Teach STEM program is a cohort-based program, so we start in the fall. It's currently a day program, but we are thinking about making it a little bit more accessible to folks who are working and switching to an evening program. But it's a fall start, so you join with a cohort and you take the majority of your classes with the same group of people, which is great because then you have a group of peers who you are learning with, and then you are starting your teaching career together, which just shows there's a lot of support for you as a learner and as a new educator. Our program is over 2 years during the academic years, so it's 6 quarters long. We don't have classes in the summers, but if you have any prerequisite classes or any additional classes you need to take, there is that leniency and that flexibility for the summer, but the main part of our program is during the academic year. You have 5 quarters of classes and 1 quarter of student teaching in the spring of your second year. We have classes that are 3 days a week. We have folks who are traveling from all over the Puget Sound region, and so we try and condense all the classes in person. Normally, during pre-COVID times, they're in person on campus with 3 of your main professors, and you usually go to class about 9 to 2, and we try and reserve Wednesdays and Fridays for field experience. So those are occasional field experience, not every week, but we coordinate with the Highline School District on those. And then you graduate at the end of our program. After those 2 years, you graduate with a bachelor's degree. You are graduating with a triple major. So you would major in middle level mathematics education, middle level science education, and STEM teaching. And you're dually endorsed with your teaching certificate. And you're endorsed to teach middle level math and you're endorsed to teach middle level science. So you graduate with both a bachelor's degree and a teaching certification for the state of Washington. A couple ways, things you can do to prepare. Many of our students are graduates of South Sound community colleges. So you need to have your direct transfer agreement completed, which is your Associates of Arts degree. And there's lots of different ways that you can complete that at a community college. We have 4 math prerequisites and 4 science prerequisites, and I'll talk about those in just a bit. Those are prerequisites that we'd like you to have the majority of those completed before you start the program. You don't have to have all of them. Some of our students, like I said, take those the summer before or the summer in between, but it really helps to have the majority of those completed and all of them if you can. You can apply to Central starting as early as January 1st of the academic year for the following fall. So it's really good to let students know the timeline of things. So if you are considering applying, you can do that as soon as January 1st. And a real benefit to that is you get into the Central system as a student. You have access to financial aid and scholarships through Central's Teach STEM opportunities, but also through the CWU portal of scholarships. So that's, I think, just a big benefit for folks to apply early and get into the program. And finally, planning ahead is really helpful. So I'm happy to meet with you. One of my jobs is to advise students and look at their prerequisite classes and help them figure out what to take ahead of time. So if you are a first year student or a second year student at a community college, please set up a meeting to talk with me, and I'm happy to look at your courses and see which courses qualify for our prereqs, make recommendations. Some of the prerequisites are only offered during certain quarters. So you want to make sure that you get those on your radar so you can complete them in your time before you come to Central and transfer. These are the prerequisite classes that we require for Teach STEM. There are 4 math classes and 4 science classes. And generally, these are pretty general. So check with me or check with an advisor before you sign up for these classes. But generally, the 4 math classes are an Intro to Statistics class, Pre-Calc 2, which by default, then you need Pre-Calc 1, so Pre-Calc 1 and 2. Math for Teachers 1, which is typically an algebra number sense class, and Math for Teachers 2, which is typically a geometry class. Then the science classes are, again, these are generalized, but typically an Intro to Biology class would work for one of the prerequisites, either chemistry or physics, again, an intro level, one of those with the lab, Intro to Geology, and Intro to Astronomy. It really helps to talk through what's offered at your school, and so I can make sure that those are acceptable substitutions for what is typically what those typical classes are at Central. And then I also included the link here for the community college course equivalencies. So you could click on this link and go see if you need a particular prerequisite, which one would substitute for that at your particular community college. And then some of the benefits of our program, as many of you know, STEM is a high need area, math and science are high need areas, middle school teachers are high need areas. So our students we have our first group who's graduating this spring, they're already getting job offers in school districts because principals are desperately seeking middle school math and science teachers. So being dually certified in math and science is a huge bonus and makes you very hireable. The program cost, Central Washington's tuition is one of the lowest public university tuitions in the state. And so it makes it very affordable. And on top of that, because STEM is such a high need area, there are scholarships available. There are families, private foundations who are contributing to increasing the STEM teacher workforce. So there are many different types of scholarships and grants available. Again, talking about that cohort of support, you are taking your classes with a group of students, getting to know them, getting to know your professors. It's a small enough cohort that you have a lot of individualized attention and you're able to form a bond with the cohort of students. So that really helps when you're starting out in your profession and you're starting out in your career, to have that group of students to bounce ideas, to check in with folks. As a former middle school math and science teacher, my peers were incredibly useful in my growth. So that's a huge asset. The field experience, there is a high emphasis on field experience in the Teach STEM program. So from the very first quarter of our program, you are working with either high-level elementary students, meaning 4th and 5th graders, or middle school students. So we collaborate with the Highline School District, and you get to be in classrooms working with real teachers and real students from the very first quarter. Again, this is pre-COVID. We have figured out some virtual options, which are not as good as in person, but normally during the school year, you get to work with students and classrooms and teachers so that you really get that hands-on experience really every quarter leading up to your student teaching. The second year of the program, you are matched with a year-long mentor in a school district that you get to preference if you want to be close to home. And again, that year-long mentorship really shows you the full scope of the year, from setting up your classroom and building those relationships in the fall, grading, planning, teaching, all of that whole cycle of being a teacher until you become a student teacher with that same mentor teacher in the spring. And I already mentioned the year-long mentorship in schools. That's a huge highlight of our program. So this is info session is filling in for the previous info sessions. This graphic just talks about our bachelor's, the benefits of our program is getting your bachelor's degree on top of your teaching certification, being certified in 2 high need areas, both math and science and STEM. So our professors are teaching you how to be the best middle school teacher you can be, particularly focusing on math and science, inquiry-based, hands-on learning, building those relationships with students, all the things that we know are important about becoming a teacher. And here's my contact information. Like I said, I'm the associate director. I'm also the advisor, and I also teach classes in the program. Our website is linked here. My email is linked here, and my phone number. And I would really appreciate it if you reached out and made a connection so that we can talk about your future career as an educator. I'm trying to recruit more people into the field. It's a field that I've been a part of for a long time, and I think it's a really great way to make a difference and have an impact, especially on middle schoolers, which is such an important time in our lives, in our adolescence. All right, thanks everyone for joining. Contact me if you have any questions or would like to talk more. Thanks.